Hello, immortals. I'm Kronos. Welcome. Today was supposed to be done outside, the video, that is, but I messed up the timing and it's too dark, so you'll have to suffer here with me in my room. uh, but it's gonna be interesting. So, we're gonna talk about. Just hope the music is not too loud. We're gonna continue off and talk about where we stopped off on crowds and the gladiator games, right? Just as a quick reminder, we're going through Lucius Seneca's Letters from a Stoic. We're taking chapters and breaking them down and trying to understand the true meaning behind this Stoic philosophy that is so smart. And that's it doesn't mean that this is what this channel is about. There's gonna be a lot of things. This is just one of them, and I hope you enjoy it because I do believe this holds true value. And I have so many ideas and theories and thoughts to myself, which is how I'm calling this series Thoughts to Myself playlist that I contemplate a lot on, and this just explains it really well, and it gives new new ways of looking at stuff, and new, like, for example, if you have like metaphors is really strong, to remember stuff that are important. You can use metaphors and it will stick in your head a lot better than just if you just read something. And that's one of the reasons that this is so powerful. Many metaphors, very smart arguments, quotables, For those of you who don't know who Seneca is, I very much recommend looking him up. So yeah, let's start with where we left off. We were talking about so avoiding crowds and what it means, what it does to one, and identity wise. Basically, we're talking about why Seneca avoided crowds, but we're gonna continue off to different subjects. So we're just gonna finish this and then just smoothly move on, because it's all connected. You should know by now, it's all connected. So yeah, so we finished by at this point. Much harm is done by a single case of indulgence or greed. The familiar friend, if he be luxurious, weakens and softens us imperceptibly. The neighbor, if he be rich, rouses our. It's hard to, like, the text is so small and the lighting is not great, and I have to be like this to get every letter. Maybe my eyesight is just fuck. Anyway, if he be rich, rouses our covetousness. Let me go again, just so we flow, right? So the familiar friend, if he be luxurious, weakens and softens us imperceptibly. The neighbor, if he be rich, rouses our covetousness. The companion, if he be slanderous, rubs off some of his rust upon us, even though we be spotless and sincere. What then do you think the effect will be on the character when the world at large assaults it? You must either imitate or loathe the world. This is so. He's giving an example, even just one person in your life, your neighbor, your friend, your spouse, it could be anyone. His behavior and his characteristics, the way he is in the world, rubs off on us. And well, it is natural that the people around us will, you know how they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. So, and it's true. To differentiating degrees, it's not the same for everyone, and some people are a lot less, how would you say, conforming than others, but that's besides the point. It rubs off on us. We are social creatures, and we need we look around and we take ideas. We get new theories, new ways of thinking, new ways of behaving, we get inspired. So people around us, and it can be just one person. Just imagine, think about a person that really affected you. And so he goes on and says, if that is the case, even just a little bit, imagine, like, if your spouse changed you in a bit, like, I'll give you an example. My ex used to eat everything with a spoon. And I thought it was weird at first. But then I realized it's not. It's actually, it's actually pretty fucking smart. I mean, we are so programmed to not think, to just act, to just, we don't, like, a lot of food, if you think about it, you don't have to eat only soup with a spoon. Like, a lot of food is a lot more comfortable to eat with a spoon, a lot of food, anything that you got, like, so we use a fork a lot of times. That it's not the optimal tool to use to eat. Like, a lot of our food, we would have easier time eating with a spoon, and I found it out with experience. And I got to a point that I found myself, we broke up, and like years later I'm eating stuff with a spoon that I wouldn't otherwise. Like, I learned it from her. So that's a cute example, right? But it sticks, right? And we learn from each other a lot. So what Seneca is saying, imagine if you can get if you can change and have things rub off on you from a single person. Imagine what it is like when the world assaults you. That's how he says it. You must either imitate or loathe the world. So yeah, you either imitate that behavior and it becomes a part of you, or you resist it and you create like you create this negativity inside of you towards it, and that's not something you would want. The thing is, you have a choice, right? And it's not just this black and white. Like, you can entertain people's ideas and opinions and not accept them. So we have to be clear on that. But what he's dramatically trying to show a point, to make a point. He's to show a point, because in the largest sense, in the general sense, you don't like what you aren't. And so enlightened people understand that they are everything and everything is them, and we're all the same. And so that comes with that wisdom and understanding, that to accept everyone. And that's how you switch from judgment to understanding. once you put yourself in the other person's shoes. And that's what you should do always when interacting with anyone. Put yourself in their shoes. It will give you such a better, not only a better perspective of how they feel, how they think, and why. It will neutralize any hate, any emotion, bad emotion that you have about them and their actions, because you will understand. Once you understand something, you can't be angry at it. So I really much recommend, especially if you get angry at something, put yourself in that person honestly, you know, not just honestly, like think of, like really be there. Don't let the ego interfere, because that is character development right there. That is such a smart thing to do too, because you will be able to respond in a way that not is only not emotional, but also is smarter in the way that, in the sense that you are using your logical conscience, like your neocortex. You can be smart about your argument. You can reply, not respond. Like you can, it doesn't have to be automatic and emotional. You can be smart about it. Stay calm in every situation. That's how you do it. Once you understand it and you take it in perspective. Like for the grass, the foot is evil, right? I can give many more examples, but you understand the point. It is a matter of perspective. If you think about your own life and what so many times I've been proven wrong, in the sense that I responded or replied to a situation emotionally, and the intent was so different than what I thought. Like, for example, imagine, like, I'm trying to think of an example from my life. I already gave a few, I don't want to repeat them back there, but I might because there's gonna be so many videos, and I doubt many people are gonna watch everything, and as of right now especially. But so it's all a matter of perspective. For one person, trash is another person's treasure, right? And like, to a cockroach, you're evil if you kill it, right? But you think the cockroach is evil, like you think the cockroach is gross and like disgusting, and you kill it. But to you, he's just trying to live his life, right? You're the evil one in his eyes. He's disturbing your peace in a way when he quote unquote goes into your space, like appears in your space, like in your personal space. So you think that he is, like, you find that offensive. Otherwise you wouldn't kill it, or him, or them. The point is, you might think that you're right. This goes on, you know, if you think about wars and stuff, like every side thinks it's right. To every side, the other side is wrong and evil. You know, religion, if you think about it, let's take the major religions. This is a very smart argument that I heard from a friend. He said, religions, I don't know where he got it from. Maybe it's his own metaphor. I'll ask him, actually, it's interesting. So, the religion, like Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, for example, the biggest ones, are like three different people picking an apple from the same tree and telling the other ones, mine is the real one. Mine is the only one. My apple is the only is the only apple. Yours doesn't count. Yours isn't real. Your it's a false apple. It's the same tree, same apples. So we all draw from this tree of knowledge, you know, in Nord, and in like in the Nordic mythology and mythologies. You have the tree of life. That's a lot more accurate in my opinion than how we view the world, our religions. And there is a reason for that, you know. These days, I mean, I talked about this earlier, but established religion is the best, absolute best, fastest way that you can get away from God. If you want to like disconnect from your higher self, from the collective consciousness, from nature, from creation, from God, from the universe, if that's what you want, study any established religion. Just go to church, go to your mosque, go to your and study the book, study the, like, I'm not saying it's there is so much smart wisdom in it, but the way it is used, and it's so engineered and manufactured, like it's not true religion. Let me put it this way: true religion will never use fear and manipulation to get you to do stuff, and it will never claim God is an outside entity. The true religion will teach you about yourself, you being the God, the creator, and it is not outside of it. Because once you take the concept of God and you put it outside, and you make the population believe that it is some force outside of you when it is in fact inside of you, there, first of all, the reason is that the people in charge are trying to control you, because they don't want you to know your true powers. They don't want you to know you're a superhero, superstar. So that's one way. You take the power outside and you make people believe. It's kind of like, if you know that picture, like an elephant would be reasoned since he's like a tiny baby, and they would like it's so disturbing, but they would put like a chain on his leg, right? And they would put it in the ground, like they would connect him to the ground with a chain, and he's too small, like, and he would fight when he's young and try to get away, but at some point they break his spirit and he doesn't try to run anymore, and he grows and grows and grows, and in his mind that thing is, he tried so hard to break it for so much time and never could. He gets huge and still believes that he doesn't understand it. At this point he can just, so he just stands there. It's an illusion that was forced upon him from a young age, so that he will not try to escape. Who said it? The best way to keep a prisoner is to not have him not know that he is in a prison in the first place. I don't remember who said that, but it's exactly that. So we are in prison and we are being programmed since we're young age to follow these strict rules, and one of them is established religion. It's not different. It's a weapon. It's weaponized religion. A true religion will tell you, the closest thing to true religion we have in the vastness, like in the majority, is the Buddha teachings. Yeah, it is the closest thing to actual religion, which is funny because it's not a religion. I would say Stoicism also is closest. It's a lot, like Stoicism is about living according to nature, right? So Stoicism is the ultimate. It is, well, not the ultimate, but it is a lot closer to religion than Like they call it a philosophy. Isn't religion a philosophy? Like especially how we know it these days? Like isn't it teaching people how to live instead of teaching them how to be good and that they have every power and to do anything they want, and so that they will get, fulfill their truest, fullest potential, get to the, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's supposed to be. Like religion is supposed to connect you with God and with it, which is yourself and other people, like the collective consciousness. Once it takes it outside of you, it's basically saying you're powerless and you need to and then they have the people of cloth, the authority of God, people explaining to you what God is. That is insanity to me. Like you go to a person and ask him religious questions, like he's learning from the same books that you do. He just goes to his rabbi, or in my case, rabbi. So you go to a rabbi or you go to a priest. So that priest goes to his priest to ask for advice. He goes to his priest, and that one, like, that a friend actually gave me that example with a rabbi. Like he said, you can't trust these people. There is exceptions, but most of them are power-hungry cowards who don't actually believe, don't understand life, and they just bought into this brainwashing, how would you say, regime, like system that is being abused and used to control the minds of the masses. That's how religion is used. It has, in its core, it's so smart and has so much wisdom and teaching. You can use it like that. But when you learn it, I'm not talking about the Bible per se. You can learn everything, but because it's all metaphors in there. But once you listen to these people who claim to be authority in religion, and like they have this established, they have, how Tupac said, they have, if they took half the money that they put in churches and put it and gave it to poor people, we would not have any poor people. Like there is enough resources, it just goes to the wrong hands. And established religion is not different. Actually, it's worse because you claim to be a man of God and you're abusing people. You're worse than, like, you're like a police officer doing crimes. Like you're the worst of the worst. Like you're supposed to be upholding that. Like you're supposed to keep it. And like that's why I think like they must be like the worst people. In the sense that, of course, we're not judging them. We're like, they're so misled, so misinformed, such cowards. They are, and I say cowards not in a judgmental way. It is true, like it is objectively true. Like you wouldn't need control over other people. You wouldn't use fear. Why do people use fear to control? Because they are cowards. Putin is a coward. Bibi Netanyahu is a coward. Donald Trump is a coward. Anyone who rules with force, anyone who abuses the people instead of working for them is a coward, especially in power. The greatest people, the greater power they have, the more cowards they are usually. It is so rare these days to have someone in power that is not, because people are cowards in general, and they elect the cowards because they want to be lied to. Because the same politician will lie to you 30,000 times, and you will keep choosing him and keep voting for him and keep following him blindly like a herd of sheep. So what do you expect when you have the most cowardly people leading us, the most incompetent people? How do you expect the world to look? You give the power, you give up your power. We are the power. Like if we got together as a people, like we can flip the world upside down and turn this place into heaven so fast. You have no idea. so fast. All the power is in our hands. We just give it away willingly. I think who said it? People will not be forced to give up their power. They will give it away willingly and be glad about it. Something like that. I forgot who the author is, but you get the point. Well, let's continue, shall we? Yeah, so wait. Yeah, wrong page. And so let's continue. Yeah. So you must either imitate or loathe the world. Now, but both courses are to be avoided. You should not copy the bad simply because there are many, nor should you hate the many because they are unlike you. So you shouldn't, as I said, you should not. You should be able to make your own choices and not let the people affect you. At the same time, you should not develop a hatred towards them because they're different than you. We all sin differently. Don't judge people for sinning differently than you. And so he says, he continues off and says, so you should not hate the many because they are unlike you. Withdraw into yourself as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. There is no reason why pride in advertising your abilities should lure you into publicity, so that you should desire to recite or harangue, I don't know this word, before the general public. Of course, I should be willing for you to do so if you had a stock in trade that suited such a mob. As it is, there is not a man of them who can understand you. One or two individuals will perhaps come in your way, but even these will have to be molded and trained by you so that they will understand you. You may say, for what purpose did I learn all of these things? But you need not fear that you have wasted your efforts. It was for yourself that you have learned them. So, now, withdraw into yourself. So every time you find yourself in that contemplation, and you find yourself developing this either hate, quote unquote, or you find yourself copying the crowd, the many, the group, that's when you should reflect. We said it before. And withdraw into yourself. Do some self-searching. Associate with those who will make a better man. So, and choose your surroundings, right? So that it's your spouse, your friends, your neighbors, where you live, the country you live, the city you live, the house that you choose, your neighborhood, everything. You have everything you have control over. You should, because I mean, to a certain extent, you can choose all your like you get the point in general. What you can choose, choose people that make a better man of you. So people you can learn from, people that you can take, and you can learn from anyone, right? But you know it when people have a good effect on you. You feel it, and they make you feel it, and it might not even be that they make you feel good. It could be the other way around. Like, let's say you have you're learning piano, and your teacher is very strict and he pushes you, and it gets very uncomfortable. But maybe that's what you need. So don't just judge, as we said, understand. Maybe it's for the best. And I'll give you an example. I have a very close family member. I will not say who, but they yelled at me. Like, they were angry at me. and told me some very harsh things. Not now, but it happened. And at that point, I don't know if I talked about this, but at that point, I stopped. I did not respond. I think I did talk about this. I stopped. I didn't respond, and I withdrew into myself, and I listened, and I tried to understand where it's coming from, because obviously, if they use so much energy and emotion to say that, and it bothers them, right? So I try to understand instead of judging, and instead of responding emotionally, I stopped, and I came to such great conclusions, and I thank them. It helped me so much, so much. I learned so much. So it might not always be pleasant. Don't think that people around you that make you feel good, precisely. It could be that as well, but people that make you a better person. And remember that without friction, there is no. Forgot how it goes, but you need hardship. Like if it's easy, you're probably going down. You know how they say. And I'm not saying you should have a hard life, by the way. That goes against my philosophy, that's for sure. That's not what it's about. It's about focusing on what's important and the actual value that you get. So it can come in many forms. You could get like the universe might get you arrested to teach you a lesson. You know, it can get anything. You could have an alcoholic parent. A lot to learn from that too. Anything. But just look at so you can learn from anyone, but keep people around you that make you better. So, and let's say you're passionate about something. Don't keep people around you that put you down. If you want to paint, and you don't have any support, like from your surrounding, from your family or friends, you need to do some searching and find some new people that will support you in your journey. Because what's the point? Like, why would you keep around people that put you down? You need to be loving yourself and surrounding yourself with people that love you. And it's very, very hard to love yourself when everyone around you say they do but act like they don't, you know? So welcome those whom you yourself can. So it goes on and says, also you should, if you feel like you have value to give people, anyone, and in any, like even one person, you should also keep those people. Like, don't just surround yourself with people that can do for you. Be aiming to do for others. And if you find someone, if you feel, I have people that ask for my advice, and they come to me in the darkest moments, you know, and to me it's a privilege to be able to be that for them, to be that shoulder, to be that person who can maybe help them get out of that dark place, you know, because I lived my entire life in darkness. It's my life. Completely lonely, completely, you know, alone. I don't think to this day, I'm like pouring my heart out. I don't think to this day there is a single person. How fucking crazy. I'm 30s, so I'm in my 30s. There's not a single person, I believe, on this planet, on this earth, that knows me. Not even one. How crazy is that? I know, of course, it's an illusion while we are in this matrix 3D. No, you know, I know that that any privacy is an illusion, really, and what we think is not us. Our thoughts, it's not our mind, is not us. And well, I'm not gonna go with it. We're going deep, way too deep, but in the ultimate sense. But right now, you know, in this form, in this lifetime, something that, yeah, crazy when you think about it. So if you do find like that as someone that truly knows you, you should keep them close. Never give up on them. It's the most precious people you will ever find. So welcome those that you can improve as well. The process is mutual. For men learn while they teach. We talked about this earlier too. We learn when we teach. This is a privilege to me. Like, I'm trying to give something right, but I'm also gaining and I'm learning it, and this puts me like, makes me dwell even deeper and read more, and because I have to do this not only for me now, and I'm saying this and I don't have any viewers, but I will eventually. I do believe that eventually, you know, and even if, as he said, even if it's one person, you know, it's the world. If you can help one person, it's the whole world that you're helping. So thank you. Thank you for that. Whoever you are, wherever you may be, you know, for giving me your time. So the process is mutual. So there is no reason why pride in advertising your abilities should lure you into publicity, so that you should desire to recite or harangue you, I don't know that word again, before the general public. Of course, I should be willing for you to do so if you had a stock in trade that suited such a man. As it is, there is not a man of them who can understand you. One or two sorry, I'm going fast. I just wanna. Yeah. So this goes deeper about. We talked about this, like advertising your abilities. Yeah. It should not be the aim to be public, to be known in public and to advertise yourself and to do it for. The aim should be to express yourself and show. You can absolutely show your talents and give to the world, and absolutely, I said it a minute and I will keep saying it, but the fame should not be the goal. Money should not be the goal. So that's what he's saying. You should not be striving to advertise. This goes for politics too, by the way. Like, it is absolutely wrong that politicians are running campaigns so that you choose them, like advertising themselves, marketing themselves. Like, why? What is that? Why I would choose, like, because that's who will win? The guy who is best at advertising, not the genuine, honest, you know. So we as a people need to like think about that. You're picking the guy who's the best marketer, not the best guy for the job, just the best salesman. Think about that. So you should, so you can showcase your abilities, your talents, your creativity, your wisdom, everything, but it should not be the goal to gain fame through it. It should not be a tool for you to gain something so superficial. It should be the other way around. And if you find yourself in a public eyes, you should take responsibility for that too, by the way. And I'm not saying change yourself and like be whoever you are, but be genuine, you know, be real. Don't be fake. And don't lure people and seduce them to behaviors that you will not truly do unless if you weren't in the public eye. So you may say, for what purpose did I learn all this? So yeah, learn it for yourself. Do it for yourself first. If you shouldn't learn to play the guitar to be a rich, famous guitarist. You should do it to make music, and you should firstly do it to make music for yourself, to play music. If you write a song, you should write it for yourself, like write it as if it is you're by yourself. right? It should not be, the goal should be to express yourself and your talent, not to gain something from it. That's true art. By the way, anything else is propaganda. And most artists today are not artists, by the way. I can give so many examples. Most artists are not that. They are just, they could be like musicians in a way, or painters, or whatever it is that they do. They could have the skill set. Let me put it this way. Literally anybody, anyone, any person on this earth can sing. You can learn to sing. Like, we all have vocal cords, you all have the ability to do it, right? Some better, some worse. Some are more naturally talented, some are worse, but we can all do it. The thing is, it's not like the best singers get famous, right? It's the whole package, the most charismatic singing, dancing, easily marketed, easily to, like, they're marketed, they're not real, they're really not what they're really not the most talented, they're not the greatest artists. Of course there's exceptions, you have Mozart, Beethoven, and like, of course there's great artists that become famous, I'm not saying, but most of them, and I say this precisely, most of them just people that are chasing validity. True, and they are creating propaganda. They're trying to make some music that will sell. It doesn't come from the heart, not really, and they could sing very well. Doesn't matter. Yeah. On that note, I have to finish. We're gonna continue off with this and this chapter. He goes on about the sharing knowledge and talent, and how even helping or teaching one person, or being that light for one person, you change the whole world. Like, it's the whole world, and how you should appreciate even one individual just as much as a million, and put as much effort and energy as you would if it were many. One person. And there is many good examples. I'll give you one quote just for the end. Democritus says, "One man means as much to me as a multitude, and a multitude only as much as one man." And on that note, we'll continue next time. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something, gained some value. And remember, we are immortal souls in temporary bodies. Don't be afraid. Ciao.